Howdy y'all, Jaysella here for your Saturday day at the races. Now, as I said on the EULO Weekender podcast earlier this week, there's only one show in town this weekend, and that's the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes at Ascot. Don't miss it. Getting things underway at Ascot, I guess that Andrew Balding's New Monarch is going to be all the rage for the opener. In fairness to this acclamation colt, he was beaten by a good 'un on his first run at Newbury, but can probably come on for that. Obviously, we're going to have to run our eyes over Charlie Appleby's pair of Words of Truth and Harbourlock, and I find it interesting that Charlie wasted no time in gelding Words of Truth after his debut run, where he was far too free, so might be becalmed this time out, and William Buick on board makes me think that he's the yard's first string. Oisin Murphy to make a king of New Monarch on his second run. For the Betfred Handicap later on the card, straight to the point here I say, and Bullet Point's going to make his mark on this. William Haggis's yard is doing everything just right at the moment, and Bullet Point can add to the season's tally, though I reckon Roger Varian's Terum is going to make a race of it. Saturday's nap lines up in the Sky Bet York Stakes. Well, what a race. I'm going with Stanhope Gardens, who's a Gaiath colt, so really should be at his ideal trip at 10 furlongs. I've got to tell you, I really am big on the Gaiath progeny coming through, and put them on a galloping track like this, and that's where the sire's strengths shine through. Now, Stanhope Gardens ran a decent race in the Derby to finish 5th, but that wasn't a track that would obviously suit, so with the drop back to this distance, Rafe Beckett's colt must have a huge chance. There's been plenty of money down for Almacom this week, and he's going to be there or thereabouts, and the Classy Royal Champion completes my list, but it's Stanhope Gardens for me. Can Callander do it for me in the King George and Queen Elizabeth? I think he can, but there's a fly in the ointment, as they say, in the shape of Jan Bruegel, who of course beat Callander in a brilliant Coronation Cup at Epsom on the Derby meeting. Now, I'm telling you that this Jan Bruegel is a class horse. 5 from 6 starts, but Callander don't know how to run a bad race, as I said in the podcast with Barney earlier this week. And I also said that in any way TriCast looked tempting if enough stood at the final declaration stage, which hasn't happened. But, the 4 I said for the TriCast do still stand, so Hardwick Stakes winner Rebel's Romance is right in the mix, and the filly Kalpana cannot be ruled out either. Of course, the TriCast can't be done with a field of 5, so Continuous is going to make the pace for Jan Bruegel, but I'm thinking Callander can now score back at Ascot. Please. Earlier on at Ascot, in the Princess Margaret, wow, flowerhead. She absolutely outran her odds of 100-1 by miles when second to True Love in the Queen Mary at the Royal Do last month, coming home late from the far side group. There's plenty about that run to like. She came from the unfavoured side of the draw for that Group 2, so this smaller field and ease in grade should help, and running on through the line in the Queen Mary makes me think she'll get the extra furlong. I suppose George Scott's Stayer would be the big danger, while Richard Hughes's Bella Lyra looks overpriced as an each-way shout, but it's flowerhead for me. Next up, in the Valiant Stakes, I think that Cajol's winning this after hitting the bar in her last 3 runs, including here in the big field Sandringham Handicap last month. She was then tried in the listed Coral Distaff at Sandown Park, where she chased down the favourite Blue Bolt to within a length, so in my book, she's every chance of winning this. John and Thaddy Gosden won this last year, but Cajol will have to be at her very best to beat Rafe Beckett's Shanty Lace, who of course was 5th in both the 1,000 guineas and the Coronation Stakes here latest. That's a big ask of Cajol, but I like William Buick in the driving seat to put in a big run, so Cajol to edge out Shanty Lace, I think. For the Moe A and Shandon International, it's a tough one this, but I'm going to chance my arm with Richard Hannon's Classic. He needs good ground, which he gets, and as he does like to get on with things, I'm not overly worried about dropping back a furlong in trip. You've got to say that Acadian Thunder is the one to watch out for, as he was closest to Never So Brave in the Buckingham Palace Stakes here at the Royal Do, and I'm going to draw a line under his last run at Newmarket, where he raced in the far side group to his disadvantage. A pretty big prize pot, so a hot handicap, but I just can't get away from Classic for the win. Everything crossed.